Hello, my name's Anne, and if my story isn't published, I won't be surprised, because I'm an invisible girl. I mean, really. I'm just a typical girl of 16. I'm not that beautiful, but I'm not a freak either. In a crowd, I can easily mix with anyone else. Anyway, there's millions of people like me. But it's okay for everyone else. But not for me. The thing is, people don't notice me. Ever. It all started in my childhood, when a kindergarten teacher simply forgot me on the playground. Really. One day, my mom was late from work. She came at 7 p.m., when the kindergarten was already about to close, and our teacher already went home, thinking all the kids had already gone home. And I sat in a sandbox with a doll, in total darkness and tears. They just forgot about me. Then, of course, there was a trial, accusations of negligence, and the teacher herself was in tears because she really didn't notice I was still in the group. But neither tears nor the risk of being kicked out of her job stopped her from repeating this. She still forgot about me, in the museum, then in the puppet theater, then just on the playground. It dawned on me, if I didn't want to be alone in the middle of the city, I better care about myself. Well, I learned to be responsible. And at school, it was all the same. It was a bit funny, though. The teachers didn't notice me. Well, they were aware of my presence in the classroom. They even gave me some grades. But they never called on me to answer or ask me anything. They just forgot about me. Once, I was sick for a week. But, as I later saw, they wrote I was in class. I even had some grades. So funny. A perfect spy, let's say. But sometimes such an invisibility turned into trouble. So I couldn't walk in a crowd. They'd kick me or stomp on my toes or push me. So all kinds of lines, concerts, and excursions weren't for me. But with the streets, it was okay, more or less. Public transportation was a bigger problem. How many times did the bus driver leave without noticing me? And I don't even go down the subway, because once the crowd almost got me down to the rails. Mom pulled me out in time. No, of course I don't evaporate somewhere in space if you look at me or talk to me. I'll appear. Just kidding. But in the streets, the sudden inattention of a driver could really cost me my life. This thing happened when I was 13. I was going home from a friend's, and some cyclist tried to hit me. Of course, I got back up, but my foot got caught in the drain somehow. In fact, getting there's difficult. But you could simply drop keys or a phone there. But with my luck, my leg got caught in the drain. So, I got stuck with a sneaker. I couldn't take off my shoes, and I couldn't take my foot out. It hurt so bad. Maybe because of a sprain, or even worse, a fracture. I started to call for help, and here my invisibility, multiplied by the late evening, played a low-down trick on me. Passers-by simply didn't notice the girl in trouble, and if they did, they passed me by with the most indifferent faces. I called 911. I tried to call an ambulance, the police, at least someone, but it didn't work. On the 5th attempt, the dispatcher told me that at my age, it was very stupid to make such jokes, and she hung up. Then I called my mom, and here I was almost lucky. Almost, because she was still at work, and with all the traffic jams, for another hour I stood in the rain alone. Then my mom came. Of course, she called 911 herself, and they got my already swollen leg out of the drain. In the ambulance, they put me in plaster. They gave me about 6 injections and sent me home. Because of course, I didn't get tetanus, but surely I got the flu. And at home, I looked at my watch. 5 hours. I'd been standing in the street for 5 hours with a swollen foot in the rain, and no one came to help me, with the exception for my mom. Of course, my mom then went to court. She even got some compensation because the rescue service ignored my calls and didn't arrive in time. But I didn't bother because, okay, the thing with the leg's unpleasant. Painful, dangerous, but not fatal. But what if something serious had happened? I'm an invisible girl, a solid gray mass which people don't usually notice. Most of all, I'm afraid something terrible will happen to me because once again, some passerby just won't see me and push me on the road. Or I'll slip on the steps and smash my head and no one will come to help me. Guys, it's terrible. It's really terrible to have to live like this when you aren't noticed. You forget all the jokes and missed lessons anyway. But when you realize that your life hangs in the balance, and at any moment, anything can have a bad ending. And like any girl, I want to find a boyfriend, but boys just don't notice me either. And if they do, they see me as a friend. Am I really dull? Don't I deserve to be happy? Guys, write in the comments if you've ever had such moments. Maybe you know some way to become brighter, more noticeable, but without risking your reputation. And if you have friends who are the same, show them my video. Let them know they aren't alone.